Hello everyone, in this video I will show you how to create hybrid research for your RAG systems. So when we are using RAG, there are two types of search we can have. The first one is vector search, and vector search is very generalized. So it's based on semantic meaning and it's not very detailed. For instance, if a user on your e-commerce store search for, let's say, blue t-shirts, blue cotton t-shirts, they're gonna get, let's say, blue cotton t-shirt, but they're also gonna get purple t-shirts, they're also gonna get pink t-shirts, because the way vector search works is based on similarity, not exact match. So you are gonna get similar results, but you're not gonna get exact matches. So this is useful because let's say someone asks, show me lightweight cotton t-shirts, and it's very hard to find, let's say, exact matches for this query. So it makes sense to be more generalized and provide results such as comfy summer top, I don't know, everyday clothing for hot weather and stuff like that. But let's say you are someone who has a very specific, let's say, query, such as blue t-shirt with like this exact code. If that's the case, vector search is not going to work properly, because then you're going to have all the blue t-shirts regardless of their code. You're going to have some t-shirts that are not blue and they're not having the same code. So as you can see, for exact match, vector research does not work properly. But let's say we use keyword search. Keyword search, on the other hand, gives you exact matches. So let's say you go online and you search for purple t-shirts. The only thing you're gonna get is a purple t-shirt. You're not gonna get a blue t-shirt. You're not gonna get a white t-shirt. You're only gonna get a purple t-shirt. So it's based on sparse vectors and you get exact results. And the strength of this approach is the fact that you're gonna get what you're looking for exactly. So if you're looking for black t-shirts, you're only gonna get black t-shirts. You're not gonna get other colors. But there are also weaknesses. For instance, if your users search for T instead of t-shirts, it's not gonna provide any results, because T might work if you are searching based on semantic similarity, but if you're looking for exact match, your products might be just t-shirts, but they might not be called T's. And in that case, it's not going to show anything. And the solution is having a hybrid RAG system. So you're having sparse vectors and you're having dense vectors, and you're going to get exact results and you're going to get similar results. And the final uh, basically answer to your query is the combination of both the exact results and similar results. And in this video, I will show you how to create such hybrid RAG systems. So make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification. The first thing we want to do is to sign in to Supabase. So if you haven't done that yet, do that. It's free. Just go to supabase.com, and once you have signed up, just come here and click on new project. So you here provide a name for your project and also provide a password for your project and just create a new project. And once you have done that, now we need to go to Supabase documentation to get some information and input them into our project. So first things first, once we are on Supabase docs, we want to basically copy this to create our documents table inside Supabase. And once you're on Supabase, we want to go to our database, we want to go to extensions, and we want to enable the vector extension. Okay, so just enable it, enable extension, and then we want to go to SQL editor and we want to paste in the code we copied from the Supabase documentation, but we want to change this to 1536, and then we want to run it. So now we have created a document in our table section. So we have the documents in our database, and then I want to go back to Supabase documentation again, and this time I want to copy the code to create index for both full text search and the semantic vector search. So I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to go to Supabase. Again, I'm going to go to SQL editor, delete this, paste this in, and we don't need to make any changes here, just run it. And now we have the indexes. Next thing, we want to come here and we want to copy the code to create the hybrid search function. So I'm just going to copy it, and I'm going to go back to Supabase, delete the previous code, paste this new code, and again we need to change the embedding dimensions to the dimensions our model is going to use, and I'm going to let you know which model we are going to use for this example. So just run this, and perfect. So now that we have all these, we need to create our edge function. So just scroll through the documentations until you are here, and just copy this, hit back to Supabase, edge functions, click on open editor, and basically delete the previous code and paste in the new code. And here we need to make some changes, and the changes are regarding our model. So the model we are going to use is the small version of this, not the large version. And also our embedding dimensions are the following: 1536. And looking through the code, we do not need to change anything else, just deploy the function. And as you can see here, we need to provide our OpenAI API key. So just go to secrets, write OpenAI API key, and now you need to go to OpenAI's playground. You need to create a new secret key and create that, copy it, and head back to Supabase and paste it in there. And just click on save. Perfect. So now we have also created our edge function. So it's time to head back to N8N, and we can basically have a message trigger right now. So just look for the chat message, and then we want to connect it to an HTTP request. Okay, and in order to make this work, we need to import the curl function command. So come here, go to your functions, click on the function you just created, go to details, and here you want to copy this curl command. And once you have done that, just paste it in here, import, make sure everything makes sense. It's post, we have our URL, and we have our header, and also we need to change this part. So this part says name and functions, but if we go to our Supabase, especially here, we can see that the constant should be the query. So I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to head back to N8N, and I'm going to make sure the constant is the query, and the value should be basically our query, which we get through our basically chat message. So I'm just going to say hi or hey, and this time it's not going to work because we haven't passed the chat input yet. So I'm just going to pass the chat input into where the value is supposed to be. And perfect, we are good. So if I click on execute the step, you can see that it ran successfully, but it didn't return anything because we haven't yet uploaded our documents to Supabase. So with that being said, click on this, and basically we want to get another trigger. And this time we want to get the manual trigger, and we want to connect it to a field, to an edit field. And basically I'm just going to call it value, and here I'm just going to paste in my document. I mean, it's not the best way to do it, but here I'm just gonna do it for the sake of example. So just go through the document and paste in everything. So copy and go back to N8N and paste your document. I mean, if you have documents available online, you can just download them into N8N, but for our example, this works. So I'm just gonna do that, and now we want to connect it to Supabase. So basically we can upload the document. So just look for Supabase vector store and click on add documents to vector store, and here we need to connect our Supabase to our N8N. So click on create new credentials, head back to Supabase, and go to project settings, go to data API, click this URL and paste it in here. And we need the secret key too, and the secret key is your actual API key. So just click on reveal and then copy it and then paste it to the desired field. So I'm just gonna paste it in here, and I'm just save it. And then we need to choose our table, and we just created the documents table. So I'm just going to choose that one, and everything else here looks fine. And also we want to choose our embedding model. I'm going to use OpenAI's embedding model, and we are going to use the 3 small version. And we also want to have a document loader, so I'm just going to use the default data loader. And everything here looks good to me too. So we can just run this, and here we are going to get an error. Basically, our table inside Supabase does not have the metadata field, and it's easy to create it. So go back to Supabase, go back to database and tables, and here click on your documents, click on this plus sign, create a new column called metadata, and the return type should be JSONB, and perfect. We can save this, and now if I go to my N8N and if I run this, we are basically going to upload this document into Supabase. Perfect. So now if I ask my rack system here a question, it's going to respond to my question. But the thing is, I want to connect this to an AI agent so that we can have a very comprehensive rack system. So I'm just going to disconnect this, and I'm going to connect this to an AI agent. Okay, just connect it to an AI agent. Let me move this down a little bit and connect your chat model. I'm going to use OpenAI's chat model, and then simple memory works, and the tool is just basically our HTTP request. So basically, you cannot connect this HTTP request to a tool, and that's why we need to grab a HTTP request tool. But basically, we are just copying everything into our tool. So we had a curl function in this HTTP request, so I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to head back to my new tool, and I'm just going to paste the command, and also everything else is configured, right? Everything looks fine to me, but one thing we gotta change is the query. Okay, we want to make sure it's the actual query, and the value should be determined by AI. So I'm just going to do that, and everything else here looks fine to me. So basically, we are good to test this. Okay, and I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to ask, let's say, how tutors should teach, because our document is about tutoring. How tutors should teach. And also before that, I'm just gonna give a name to this tool. So I'm just gonna call it RAG, and also let my AI basic agent know that it should only use our RAG system in order to provide the responses. So only use the external data source to answer the questions. And I'm just gonna call it the RAG tool, and do not provide any answers yourself. This just makes sure that the AI agent really uses the RAG. So how tutors should teach, and let me save this workflow and let me send this prompt. And as you can see, it did utilize our RAG, which is a good sign. And now it's generating the output, and it's a very comprehensive response, I would say. And here, if I click on this RAG, you can see that we have the full text search, which contains the exact words, and we also have basically the semantic search, the embeddings. But we want to make sure how the basically exact search and the semantic search worked together. So, and basically we want to make sure whether we use the semantic search or whether we use the exact search. And in order to do that, we need to go back to Supabase, and we also need to just provide some updates on our function. So basically click on these three dots and click on edit function, and basically copy this, cancel, and then edit function with assistant, paste this thing in, and also we want to provide the following prompt. So basically we are asking Supabase to also return the ranking for both the semantic search and the exact keyword search. Okay, I'm just gonna paste it in here, and boom. Then the Supabase is basically gonna give us the updated code, and we're gonna replace the updated code with the current code we have for our function. Okay, now we have the complete code for our new function. I'm just gonna copy this, and then I'm gonna delete this function here because we wanna create a new function. So delete this function and just type hybrid search to confirm, and delete the function. Go back to your SQL editor, and basically paste in your new code for your new function and run it. Success, no rows returned. And then let me try the exact same prompt. So previously we asked how tutors should teach, which is a very general question, and I'm sure that it's going to rely on the semantic search instead of the exact keyword search, but let's just make sure. So AI agent is using a RAG, it's going to provide the response, and let's see. If I click on RAG, and if I look into our rankings, I can see that the semantic rank is number 1, while the full rank, basically the exact keyword search, wasn't even used. And that's because we asked such a generalized question. But if our question is about a specific keyword, then full rank comes into play. So, and in this document, they talk about Skype. So Skype is a very exact keyword. And let me ask it about Skype. What is Skype? And for this one, I believe it's gonna rely more on the full text search. So I'm just gonna ask the question. And again, as you can see, it's gonna go through the RAG and it's gonna provide the response. And if I click on the RAG module, I can see that full rank is number 1 and semantic rank is also number 1 because our document is so small. But as you can see, when we ask specific questions, we are going to use full rank. When we ask generalized questions, we are going to use semantic rank. But at the end of the day, the response you get is the combination of both these searches. And that's what's make hybrid search great. Thank you very much for watching this video. That's it. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also let me know if you have any questions in the comment sections. Have a great day.